Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to PWR today, July 23rd, 2021. It's Friday. It is the man they call Meathead, and it is my Matthew Thomas to watch on Friday, July 23rd. It's Matthew Thomas.
Good morning, Meathead. And if memory serves me correctly, is today White Castle Day?
Unofficially, yes. Excuse me. I'm still recovering from Bucks and Six. Think of it this way. Sometimes the 4th of July falls on a Sunday and you have to celebrate it the Friday before or the Monday after, right? Today is unofficially White Castle Day. While the calendar says tomorrow's White Castle Day, we celebrate today.
What happens to White Castle Day on a leap year? Better yet, remember last week my proposal to basically have the years
leap year rotate around the year?
Well, no, you have different days. Like you can roll days from one month into the next month. Yeah. So
this isn't a cell phone plan where you roll minutes.
Yeah. No, I think that would make months a lot more entertaining for people. You know. Yeah. January, you're used to it having 31 days. Well, you know, this year it might have like 15.
Good evening, folks. It's October 29th. Or excuse me, October 39th. Yeah, you get the joke.
That's what I'm talking about.
You know how much work would go into that fixing calendars. I mean, what about the Knuckle Trick I just taught my kids about which months are 31s and which aren't? Do you know the Knuckle Trick?
No, I'm not familiar with the Knuckle Trick.
Put your hands together as a fist. The bones start at January on one side. January, the gap in the middle, February. The bone, March. The middle, April. The bone, May. The middle, June. The bone, July. Next hand. The bone, August. The middle, September. The bone, October. The middle, November. The bone, December.
Yeah, I'm going to have to practice that.
It's like rolling the quarter on your hand, too, for dexterity. You're trying to change my world around, but you know what's already changed my world when I go outside and celebrate Bucks and Six? My clothing choice. Matthew, who's the sponsor?
Oh, I would imagine that you are wearing Collar and Elbow, available exclusively at collarandelbowbrand.com, where you can select from a fine assortment of garments to clothe yourself in, just like the man they call Meathead, and have your life changed. And if you'd really like your life changed, save some money on that by entering promo code LindaKay, that's LINDAKAY, saves you 10%, and you can take that 10% and actually use that to help fund my random month generator.
A random month generator. It'll be an app available on iOS, not the Play Store. All right. Because that sounds like a thing that Apple users would want. Matthew, yeah, we've got some news to talk about. Let's start with the one I forgot to tell you about before in the pre-talk. Paul Heyman has been removed from WWE's show called Talkin' Smack. Paul Heyman no longer on the post show. What are your thoughts?
You know, I don't watch it every week. The few weeks that I did watch it, I really enjoyed him. You know, I mean, it's Paul Heyman. So he is at any given time within the last, decade or so, within the top 5 best talkers in the business. So, that's a disappointment.
To be honest, it points out Paul Heyman is a creative genius. Okay, I really think he is. Just like in the old wrestling territory days, so you don't get burnt out, you should be rotating around. Paul Heyman's done this with WWE a bunch of times where he's been in, he's been hot, he's been doing this, and then you know what? I'm going to step back. Maybe we'll do business again in a couple of years. And comes back in hot, change of direction. He's gone in and out about 3-4 times. It's possible Paul Heyman's just burnt out. But Paul Heyman is still an on-air character as the counsel for the tribal chief. So he's now removed himself from Talkin' Smack. Does that mean that at some point that he leaves Roman Reigns' side?
It's possible, and it's been very interesting to watch Paul Heyman, in that role of Roman Reigns. I think Roman Reigns has really come into his own in this heel character, and Paul Heyman is, I feel like to a certain extent has been kind of training wheels for Roman Reigns. And that character and that stable right now is over enough that I don't want to see Paul Heyman go away. I think they greatly benefit from still having him there as the mouthpiece, but I don't think it is as needed as it was, at the beginning of this head of the table character.
I remember the reveal of Roman talking softer to Adam Pearce, and then they pan out, and he had Paul Heyman sitting right next to him.
My goodness. Yeah. One of the greatest reveals, I honestly think, of all time. And that actually happened during the Thunderdome era. It was a backstage segment.
It was
And
the button on the show because it happened after the main event.
Yep. And it was just a pan. Just a pan.
Mm-hmm. All right. This story is gaining steam. I'm not, and we are not. I know you're not, and I know Linda's not. We're not big fans of rumors and innuendos and innuendos. But this is not official news. This is not confirmed. This is not, I'm going to put this out there. This is just talk. But the talk is very loud right now. Crazy Mariachi Punk to AEW is almost a lock. Matthew, there is a pay-per-view coming up for AEW in Chicago around Labor Day. Do you think that's where he pops?
Yeah. I just in a one-word answer, yeah, I do. The talk is it's loud.
I got to be in that building then because I need to hear that pop.
Yeah, it's loud with Daniel Bryan. You've got the pay-per-view, then you've also got the stadium in New York coming up at the end of September. So you've got two very big events for AEW. So yeah, it's a lot of talk.
Chicago, not too far from my little burb here. That might have to be a show we find a way to. We might have to talk to some AEW folk to get down to All In Chicago. Matthew, they speaking of AEW have signed now officially, even though she's appeared multiple times on Dynamite and on Dark and Evolution, and Thunder Rosa is now officially All Elite. I think this is good business.
Oh, 100%. And watching Dynamite the other night when we saw Britt Baker get the title win, retain the other night, it's like the amount of people that you have built up as credible threats to take that title off of Britt Baker, it's not that many. And where I feel like the women's division has picked up steam, they haven't done a lot to build many credible threats. I think Thunder Rosa is one of those, and I think this is a great move.
I think it's a great move as well. There's also talk, speaking of building things up, and being that they're mega stars, they're going to need a nice, long, fat, juicy, succulent buildup. There's talk that The Rock is back by Thanksgiving, by Survivor Series, and he possibly goes one-on-one with Roman Reigns. Now, I don't think the title's needed in this specific match. I think it's a Rock Roman Reigns match for the ages without the title. They can have the title there. I don't need Rock to win the title, but I need to see Rock and Roman one-on-one.
Yeah. No, and I think everybody does. I think everybody does. Here's the thing. You know what? If the title was in the picture, and I know the smart move is for Reigns to go over, and but let's look at this. It's quite essentially at this point, it's a family torch being passed. Give me this. If the title's going to be involved, give me The Rock beating Roman. Give me Big E cashing in and holding a victory over The Rock. Give me that. That's what I want. I want it. Give it to me now.
I was letting you finish. I was letting you have the moments because I was saying it in my head. You know what? Matthew's got it. I'll silence myself and Matthew Thomas take the lead on that. That's exactly what I was thinking. You know what? Nothing bigger than a Big E cash-in on the Brahma Bull.
Yeah. No, I did not know I wanted that until this very second, and I really, really want it a lot.
Right. All right. So The Rock, Roman Reigns, they're working towards it, and it's probably going to be in Big D with our friend Big D at WrestleMania.
Should I start working on the guest list now? Do you want to leave that up to me?
I don't know. I mean, I know the party's supposed to happen. I know my accommodations are good. I would assume your accommodations are good. Damien's, oh, I mean, Big D, excuse me. His accommodations are good. I assume the Fanny Pack Kid. By the way, we got to talk about last night before the Impact. Cal Hero in a tag match with his nemesis from OVW, Tony Gunn.
So they're buddies now?
Allegedly, or they just had to work together. You know, they're the consummate pros. This match was so long, it went over a commercial break.
Was it did it feature a Frank Thomas commercial break?
It did not, luckily. Thank God.
Oh, good.
But it did feature the Canadian Destroyer gentleman by the name of Petey Williams, but no Canadian Destroyer.
Oh, well, that's at least a positive.
Yeah, Cal Hero looking good. And again, Matt Stryker goes, is that young man wrestling with a fanny pack around his waist? I'm not going to go into his clothing choices.
Yes, that's his gimmick. Of course he is.
Cal's line, he's done it already a couple times on AEW. He popped it off in front of the Impact Zone, in front of the Impact fans last night when there was a hair pull. Ah, my mullet!
That's great.
You could hear it echo, and then you could hear the guys laughing. Oh, my God. Cal, that's got to be your line. Like, if there was a taunt in a video game that you get to be in, it's got to be, ow, my mullet.
You know, and also, too, I was looking on the internet the other day. You can get your very own Cal Hero fanny pack if you so choose to.
Right. Fanny Pack Party T-shirts are out there, too. We're going to have to talk to the manufacturer of that and maybe work out a promo deal.
You know, I was actually doing something the other day because in my my day job, it oftentimes involves, like, you know, pulling down a lot of various tags and whatnot. So
You're a drug dealer, right?
I'm not disclosing anything, but I have a lot of things in my hand that I need to eventually dispose of. But look, I don't want to walk back and forth to a trash can, and I've ruined pants with you know, trying to put stuff in pockets, and it's just not practical.
So what you're saying is I shouldn't drink with you because you can't put a tall boy and a sandwich on you.
Yeah, that's freaking talent, man. I don't know how he did that. But I was literally in a situation where I said, you know what? I need a fanny pack. And it's on my list of things to do, man. I got to get me some Cal Hero swag. The very highlight of which is the actual Cal Hero fanny pack.
Okay. Well, yeah. Check out the Fanny Pack Kid. Search for him, FPK, on the Google machine. I think he's on Twitter, he's at the Cal Hero. So check that out. To be honest, you know, hearing Cal yell out, ow, my mullet, you know it's the influence of good old Uncle Al. I mean, because one of my favorite taunts from way back in the day, I think it was the Attitude, and it might even be before that, on the Super Nintendo or the PlayStation 1. Al came up with a line that says, are you down with OPF? Do you know what OPF stands for?
Original Proctologist Farm.
No, so not even close. Other people's funnies.
Oh, yeah, that was my next guess.
I am such an unoriginal bastard that I love saying other people's lines and playing them off like they're my own.
Well, here's the thing, though. If somebody is not well-read and well-versed enough to not catch it as being someone else's, well, then that's incumbent upon them.
It happens. It happens a lot. All right, Matthew, there is, I don't know if you know this or not, we didn't have an NXT review for this last week. Real quick, let's talk about the main highlights. Karrion Kross was getting called out by Smojo. Smojo was in the ring calling him, and at the end of the show, Karrion Kross was down by William Regal, who he beat the crap out of and was unconscious. Okay? The next 2 weeks of NXT are already in the can. They are taped. We will not give spoilers here. Your thoughts on where we go with Karrion Kross and Samoa Joe?
We go Karrion Kross, Samoa Joe at NXT Takeover, which was announced on NXT the night after SummerSlam.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. That was probably the biggest takeaway from NXT, and we've been so busy with other stuff we haven't discussed it. But yeah, they are doing Takeover the night after SummerSlam. Yeah, and I mean, which is SummerSlam? It's a straight. I mean, it's different this year having it on a Saturday. So yeah, they're actually putting SummerSlam on that or Takeover on that Sunday.
Okay. You know, it's odd because we heard Joe talk about it on TV. Yeah, Regal, you don't have control on nothing. You didn't even know about Karrion Kross's little field trip up to Raw. Yeah, he got beat by Jeff Hardy. So, I mean, why would we brag about that? That's nothing against Jeff Hardy by any means. But, you know, if Karrion Kross is supposed to be this monster, this beast, how is it that he walked in and got beat right away?
Yeah, that's an interesting deal. I mean, it was a big surprise on Raw, and I'm not upset to see Jeff Hardy have a little bit more momentum, but how are you going to, reconcile this? And you would think it's not going to be a one and done. That's not going to be the last we hear of it. Kross, I would think eventually he's going to get his heat back, but you've got a bit of a strange program where you've got your monster heel champion on NXT, in quintessentially, what they're doing as a mid-card feud on Raw. It's an interesting strategy.
All right. So coming up tonight on SmackDown as well. Remember, last week we had the return of Finn Balor, and this is face Finn Balor, the one that puts his arms up to his music and poses and primps and does all this stuff on the ring apron in SmackDown. Where do we go from here with Finn Balor?
Man, I don't know. I think it's a reason to tune in because I don't necessarily see a direct line of sight feud for him right off the bat that I can think of.
Yeah. And honestly, the big story coming into tonight, he was there last week in Money in the Bank. He showed up on Raw to let us know, don't forget, I'll be there on Friday to go face to face with Roman Reigns. I want him at SummerSlam. The man you can't see, now you could see 3 times this week, John Cena. And he's probably going to show up in his Peacemaker outfit too.
Yeah, I look forward to that.
What is John Cena going to do? What's going to happen?
He's gonna cut a great promo, maybe get a face to face with Roman Reigns. This is gonna be some fun back and forth. This is gonna be. It's not to the level of Cena Rock a few years back, but we've got Reigns in top form. We've got Heyman in top form as always, and we got Cena in top form. This will be fun. And what I'm hoping to get a little more progression on this show as far as what happens with Baron Corbin. Is his website up? Because if you do go to his website, if you want to donate to the Corbin Fund, due to monetary issues, due to financial issues, he hasn't been able to actually launch the donate section of it. Maybe he's got a new webmaster and got that figured out.
He was at America's Neighborhood Bar and Grill during the commercials. Maybe he could have got a job there busting tables for a while to make up enough money.
Well, that's when he was living high on the hog because his daughter's having to eat spaghetti out of a can, if you haven't heard.
Oh, boy. I mean, rice, roni, and chef ravioli are the San Francisco and Italian treat.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, man, I wouldn't mind some Chef Boyardee ravioli right about now. That's it's been a while since I've had that.
I will be having none of that, good sir, today, right now, while you are probably listening to this. Just mentally picture a car going from the Green Bay area down along Lake Michigan, right up until about the Wisconsin-Illinois border, stopping in a city called Kenosha. There's a little thing called the White Castle right there. Meeting the boys. Starting with a case of sliders. Probably 4 or 5 packs of chicken wings. Orders of fries. Maybe, one soda. I don't know. Maybe a juice. We'll have to talk about that. But we are getting primed and ready. And then for White Castle Day, I think we're going to do, how about some Milwaukee Brewers and Chicago White Sox?
Doesn't sound like a bad weekend at all. Here's the thing. I was gonna pay a little surprise to you. I was actually looking to see how close the nearest White Castle was to me, so maybe I could partake on actual White Castle Day. Turns out it's 400 miles. So
you haven't visited your local grocery store? They're in the freezer section.
Yeah, no, and I actually did that last year in the spirit of White Castle Day. I'll probably do that this year. I'm trying to remember if I got the plain ones or if I got the cheese ones last year.
Gotta get the cheese ones.
Yeah, I'll have to experiment and and see what I can do. But yeah, I'm really fascinated by those chicken rings. That's not a thing, not a delicacy I've ever had. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, and not to go into a whole nother thing of food, one of these days we'll have to make a trip down to Cincinnati for some Skyline Chili because people from New York just apparently don't like it. I don't know if you read that report, but we'll have to get down to Cincinnati and have some Skyline Chili as well.
Be a nice little tour to check out all the delicacies across the country.
Well, that is a crisp and clean 20 minutes. Folks, I'm out of here. I'm in the car after this. I need to get down to Kenosha, meet the boys. It is White Castle Day tomorrow. Brewers and White Sox again. I think it's Milwaukee Bears Day. The Negro League is having Milwaukee Bears Day. So my daughter's excited. She doesn't like the Brewers. She likes to say the Bears because she knows it upsets me. So she wants a Milwaukee Bears hat instead. What are you going to do?
Fantastic. I think that's a great plan.
For Matthew Thomas, the Matthew Thomas to watch on July 23rd, I'm the man they call Meathead. Thanks for stopping by. We'll talk to you guys next week. So long, everyone.